Okay, so the next question that came up on the 2016 paper was this one here, where we have to find the first three terms in ascending powers of x, the binomial expansion of this. So the binomial expansion, the first thing we do is, if it's the first three terms, you have a look at the power, and we write down 4 choose 0, 4 choose 1, and 4 choose 2. The next thing we do is we have a look at the first thing in the brackets, which is 2, so we raise that to the power. So it's going to be times 2 to the power of 4, times by 2 to the power of 3, times by 2 to the power of 2. The next thing is we have a look at this thing here, including the sign. So we skip the first one. The next one is times minus 9x, and we put that in brackets. Then we times minus 9x, brackets, squared. And that is what we're looking for in terms of the workings. And then we've got to simplify everything. So 4 choose 0 is going to be 1 times 2 to the power of 4, 2, 4, 8, 16. So that's going to be 16. And then what you can do is just put it in the calculator to work out the next one. However, the first thing I'll do is see if there's only one negative here, so it's going to be a minus. So 4 choose 1 is 4, 2 cubed is 8, so 4 times 8 is 32. 32 times by 9 is 288, so that's going to be 288x. And then what we've got to do is we've got to simplify this one here. And that gives us plus 1,944 x squared. And that's that. So that's how we get the 4 marks for that one. Now the next one is that f of x equals what we've just worked out multiplied by 1 plus kx. And what we've got to do is find it up to and including x squared terms. So that's going to be 1 plus kx times by what we've just found, 16 minus 288x plus 1,944x squared. We're only interested in up to and including x squared. So first of all, let's multiply everything by the 1. So 1 times that, 1 times that, 1 times that. So that's going to be 16 minus 288x plus 1,944x squared. And then we multiply by the kx. So kx times that is going to be plus 16 kx. Then we do kx times by minus 288x. So that's going to be minus 288k x squared. And then once we've done that, that allows us to answer B, C, and D. So A is going to be just the number. So that's just 16. We can spot that from here. Find the value of k. Now, what we know is that the coefficient of x is minus 232. So we can write down that minus 232x equals minus 288x. So remember, this equals this thing over here. So the minus 232x from this one is the same as the minus 288x from this one plus the 16kx. Therefore, if we add this to the other side, we're going to get minus 232 plus 288. So we get 56x equals 16kx. So we can drop the x's now. So 16k equals 56. If we divide by 16, we end up with 7 over 2. So we say that k equals 7 over 2 or 3 over 5. So the next thing we've got to do is work out the value of b. So we now have a look at the x squared term. So let's put this in a different colour. It's getting a little bit bored with red. So we know that bx squared equals this one here, which is 1,944x squared. Take away this thing, which is minus 288 times k. But we know that k is 7 over 2 times by 7 over 2 x squared. So let's drop the x squared. We've got b equals 1,944 minus 288 times 7 over 2. So we work that out in the calculator. So 1944 minus 288 times 7 over 2. And we get b equaling 936. So 936 is the answer for that one. And obviously k was 7 over 2. So, I mean, that's a reasonably tricky application of this topic. So now let's have a look at the 2015 paper and see how that one went. Now, 2015, this was question 1. So, don't do that. So we've got to work out the first three terms. So we have a look at the power first of all, and it's 10, so it's going to be 10 choose 0, plus 10 choose 1, plus 10 choose 2. Then we have a look at this number here, which is 2, so it's going to be times 2 to the power of 10, times 2 to the power of 9, times by 2 to the power of 8. Then we have a look at this thing, this thing here, including the sign. We skip the first one, so we times the second one by minus x over 4, times the third one by minus x over 4, all in brackets, squared. So 2 to the power of 10 gives us 1024, and that'll probably be 1 mark. The next one, there's only one negative sign, so it's going to be a minus. It's going to be 10 choose 1 times 2 to the power of 9 times x over 4. So it's 10 times 2 to the power of 9, and then divided by 4, and that equals 1280 x. So the next one we have a look at the sign, and we've got a minus sign in there, but it's squared, so that's going to make it positive. So it's going to be 10 choose 2 times by 2 to the power of 8, and then the 4 on the bottom is going to be 4 squared, so we're going to divide it by 4 squared. That's going to give us 720 x squared. So that's the solution to this question here. Again, what I did on the calculator is I worked out this bit here, and I got 11,520, and on the denominator you're going to have 4 squared, so over 4 squared, and did it that way to get my 720 x squared. 2014, let's have a look at this paper. So again, same thing. If you know how to do this, you know you're golden for at least 4 marks here. So the first three terms, so we have a look at the power first of all, so it's going to be 6 choose 0 plus 6 choose 1 plus 6 choose 2. Then we have a look at this, which again is a 2. So times 2 to the power of 6 times by 2 to the power of 5 times by 2 to the power of 4. And then we need to multiply by this thing, including the sign. So skip the first one. We always skip the first one. And the next one is minus 3x, but we put that in brackets, times by minus, oh, my pen's going wonky donkey again. Times by, thankfully my pen's kicked in. Right, so let's try that bit again. So it's 6 choose 2 times by 2 to the power of 4 times by minus 3x in brackets squared. Sorry if that is a little confusing. I've got no control, it seems, over this pen. So then what we need to do is we need to solve them. So 2 to the power of 6 is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. So that's going to be 64. We have a look at the sign here, and there's only one negative sign, which means it's going to be a minus. So it's going to be 6 times 2 to the power of 5. And we're going to times that by 3 as well. So times by 3 is 576x. We don't need to worry about minus here because we already said it was going to be a minus. Now the third term, we've got a minus, but it's going to be squared, so it's going to be plus. So we're going to do 6 choose 2, so 6 choose 2 times 2 to the power of 4, and then times by this 3, but that's going to be 3 squared, so times by 3 squared. And that gives us 2,160 x squared. Hence or otherwise find the first 3 terms in the ascending power of x for the expansion of this. So we already know what this is. So that's going to be 1 plus x over 2 multiplied by our expansion, which was 64 minus 576x plus 2,160 x squared. So we're just going to go for the first 3 terms. So that's going to be including x squared. So start off with a 1, so that's going to be 64 minus 576x plus 2,160 x squared. And then we're going to multiply by this, up to and including the x squared. So that's going to be 64x over 2, which is going to be plus 32x. Then times by this, that's going to be 570 minus 576x squared divided by 2. So 576 divided by 2. Very lazy there. Should have been able to do that one in my head. 288x squared. In fact, that's a good point. You don't need to worry about doing it in your head. You've got a calculator. Use it. Even if you think it's taking the mickey, just use it anyway. Just that you don't make any silly mistakes. So we've got to simplify. So 64. And then we're going to do minus 576x plus 32x, which equals minus 544x. Again, use a calculator if needs be. And then you've got 2,160x squared, take away 288x squared, so 2,160, take away 288, gives us 1,872x squared. And that's what you need to do for this question. So that is binomial expansion for C2.